North Carolina has a jobs crisis. We have a job creation problem in North Carolina. And it isn't just one that happened 2 or 3 years ago, it's been happening for the last decade. In the 90s, we had about 20% employment growth in the state. In the decade that ended in 2009, North Carolina created 300 net new jobs for the decade. And that's about the time the recession hit. So the problem, I think, is well known and one that's unique to our state and one we wish we didn't have. But we're creating about half the jobs we need to create. Economists tell us we need to create 100,000 new jobs a year. We're creating about 50. As a consequence, we have a problem, and the problem is our unemployment insurance system that's designed to cover unemployed workers and provide benefits now stands as an impediment, we think, to job creation. As a consequence of this high unemployment rate, we have a federal debt that's the 3rd highest in the country. Only California and New York owe more money to the federal government than we do. And we'll explain that, how that works with my other 2 presenters here. But needless to say, at the moment we find ourselves now, I think the Charlotte Observer called this North Carolina's fiscal cliff. And they're probably very accurate because unlike the federal fiscal cliff, we can't print money in North Carolina. We have a debt, we have to pay it back. We have to pay back every penny. But as I said, it's an impediment, we think, to job creation. Because right now in North Carolina, because of high unemployment and high unemployment taxes and a system that doesn't work, we now have a system that's making new jobs cost more. Leaders at the legislature over the last year have called us to come up with a comprehensive solution. And we've been pleased to do that, working together with a broad coalition. The Chamber, other business organizations, the Employers Coalition of North Carolina and Capital Associated Industries have stepped up to provide a study that we think outlines a comprehensive approach, one that's fair and balanced, and one, quite frankly, that raises taxes on business. It's extraordinary, I think, in a state like North Carolina, but I think it speaks to the kind of businesses we have. I've never been at a press conference where the organized business community is united on the fact we have to fix this system, and as part of the fix, we have to raise our taxes. And the business community is ready to go because they realize if we don't fix the system, we can't create jobs. As a result, we've been busy meeting over the last couple of months with our reemployment coalition. Dozens of organizations, local chambers, associations, many of whom are with us today but couldn't be. They're laser focused on the #1 challenge facing North Carolina. We need to create more jobs. And we can't create more jobs if they cost too much. We appreciate the leadership being shown at the General Assembly. Representative Julia Howard and Senator Bob Rucho have been tireless advocates to advocate the cause of we have to become competitive. We're not competitive. We have to find a way to reduce the cost of doing business, in this case, the cost of jobs. Leaders in the House, Speaker Tillis, Senator Pro Tem Berger, have again recognized clearly that if we don't fix the unemployment insurance system, North Carolina can't work. The business community is aligned. We're focused, and we're cognizant of the fact that this business obligated debt, which is what it is, we have to pay back every penny. So there's some people that feel there's money coming from other buckets and other governments and the federal government. There's no money coming from other than the business community. We have to pay back every penny, and we're going to talk to you today about our plan to do just that. I want to first introduce Andy Ellen. Andy is president of the North Carolina Retail Merchants Association to talk about how does the UI debt crisis impact business. Andy.
Again, my name is Andy Allen. I'm president of the North Carolina Retail Merchants Association. We're the largest private employer in the state of North Carolina, the retail industry. And our industry is sort of in a crisis situation because our industry follows households, and the households follow jobs. And you can only look at your rural communities right now in North Carolina and see them losing jobs, and see them losing construction industry, and see them losing the retail stores, which puts my members in desperate times. I think Lou mentioned you have a number of people from the business community here. I see the home bidders and NFIB, and the beer and wine wholesalers, and MCIC, and the auto dealers. You see a united business front, as Lou said, unfortunately, be in a situation that nobody wants to be in. As Lou said, we did not get in this situation overnight, and it was not one factor that got us into this situation. Our benefit structure was probably too luxurious, and our tax structure was not sound. And the only way we get out of this situation is we get out of it together by restructuring the system, doing some integrity systems that Bruce will talk about, and raising taxes on businesses. you know, as Lou said, the system is broken. Unfortunately, we are seeing as employers an increase of $21 per employee per year. So not just $21, but every single year an additional $21. And let me give you an idea of what that means for a normal small retail store. If you have 50 employees at like many local grocery stores do, your IGAs and your Piggly Wigglies, this year you picked up an additional $2,100 in taxes. Next year it's $3,100 and $4,200 in the following year. Now that's in addition to the normal unemployment taxes that you pay. And those are business costs that retailers and other businesses are having a hard time capitalizing. It means they're not capitalizing in stores and they're not hiring employees. I talked to one of my larger members, and as a crisis situation, they look, if we do not do a restructuring of this system, by 2018, they'll be paying in excess of $3 million more per year in unemployment taxes than they do right now. Again, that's money that they can't use to hire workers, they can't invest in new stores, they can't invest in capital improvements. The one thing I want to say also is to put this in perspective, I would like you to think about this. North Carolina, as Lou says, owes $2.4 billion in unemployment taxes. Last year, North Carolina's corporate income tax raised the state of North Carolina about $1 billion. Okay, so if we double the corporate income tax to 14%, we already have the highest corporate income tax in the country at 6.9, but if you doubled it to 14%, it would still take you more than 2.5 years to pay it off. Now, if we did that, employers would be running from this state, and certainly nobody would be coming here to create jobs. But that's the amount of money that we owe, to put that in perspective. So think about that long and hard. I also want to echo what Lou said. We thank the Senate and the House leadership, Speaker Tillis and Senate President Pro Tem Berger, and the tireless work of Senator Rucho, Representative Howard, and their staffs. And we hope that we will have good support in the General Assembly. And we hope it will be bipartisan support. This is a bill for all of North Carolina. Again, it affects everybody. It's a way that we all get it out of this together. And we hope we have good support from both sides of the aisle. And I want to thank Lou and his team and Bruce and everybody here for their efforts in making this possible. Again, this is not an easy situation. It's not one anybody in the business community wants to be involved in. But we hope that we will see quick passage of this bill and signing of it by government support.
Our next presenter is Bruce Clark. As I mentioned, he is CEO of Capital Associated Industries. I've enjoyed working with Bruce. He probably has multiple decades of experience on this very subject matter, and has probably been, I think, one of the more knowledgeable people to understand the depth of our challenge, how we got into it, and more importantly, the need to have a system that's more solid and competitive and gives us an opportunity to dig our way out. So, Bruce.
Thank you, Lou. Appreciate your leadership. Appreciate you. Thank you. Good morning. Lou and Andy did a great job outlining the debt issues, the benefits issues, that debt repayment issue. I join them in thanking the courageous legislators that are working very hard to solve this very difficult problem. It's a thankless task. There's going to be pain involved for everybody, and I appreciate their hard work. Our state's unemployment insurance system is not only broke, it is broken. Old-fashioned mismanagement by agency officials is a major cause of the problems that we see today. The agency has failed our state's workers and our employers. Mismanagement of information technology at the agency led to improper payments of over $555 million from 2008 to 2011 in jobless benefits. Overpayments from that the agency knew about, but did little to stop. Mismanagement of that same system led to the disclosure of private data, such as Social Security numbers and employer tax ID numbers, on thousands of employers and claimants in letters sent out over a 3-week period last year. Mismanagement of IT also meant tens of millions of dollars were wasted from unsupervised buckets of money on failed and over-budget IT projects rather than fixing the essential data needs of the system. Mismanagement of fraud by claimants and by some employers, rather than sending a visible message to everyone that fraud is illegal and risky. Too few resources were allocated to fraud prevention and response. Mismanagement of important quality control standards set by the federal government. Since 1997, there have been 120 quality checks of our system's integrity and reliability. Since 1997, we have failed all but 2 of those checks. That's over 15 years of failing grades. In fact, we are the worst in the nation at accurately deciding who should receive benefits and when those benefits should stop. Mismanagement of the most important function of the agency probably bothers me the most. Helping people get ready for and find a new job so they can return to a regular income and rebuild their economic lives. Claimants and employers realized that the job match system at the agency was broken and stopped using it in any meaningful way, either to get a job or to find qualified workers. And finally, something very visible to employers every day across the state we hear a lot about and have for many years is that the adjudication system, the system for deciding whether a claimant is entitled to benefits, has spun wildly out of control. Claimants that were in jail, found with illegal drugs at the workplace, who cursed, threatened, and abused their managers, even harassed other employees, were allowed to collect benefits as if they were discharged through no fault of their own. Unemployment benefits became an entitlement, and the only real issue was how fast can the check be processed, which left far too few resources for the vast majority of claimants who deserve the benefits and need them in times of economic recession. Correcting the fiscal and the economic issues talked about today will bring financial soundness back to the system. But fixing the mismanagement and leadership issues at the agency will bring back sanity and restore the original purpose of unemployment as a necessary bridge for deserving claimants and the best place to come to find a good job. Thank you.